So at this point, we've had the entire room is blocked out. So now all we got to do is go in and, model everything. I'm going to try and not get too crazy with most of it just because I don't want to have too much to do. So I'm mostly just going to model this chair. I'm going to have to move somewhat fast because I don't want to make this video too long. So, and you don't really see what the chair looks like, but you'll have to take my word for it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just work on this chair part here. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually, in order to make things a little bit easier, is I'm going to grab everything else. Okay, so I just kind of clicked and dragged across all these, and I held shift to select this. I'm going to add those to a new layer. Click on this, and we'll just call this other room pieces for now. Okay, save, and I'm just going to turn that off. That way, they're not distracting me. Okay, all right. So this is roughly what I got. Now, one thing I need to do is this actually doesn't look quite like what I want it to, so I got to work on a little bit of that. For one, it's actually a little bit fatter. And grab this and make it a little bit fatter. And this is actually, it's one piece that kind of bends around. So I'm going to kind of pull this up here. And what I'm going to do first, I want to connect these two. So I'm going to select this one, I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to click on here, which is Mesh Combine. Okay, now they're one piece. Now I'm going to delete this face and delete this face, like so. Okay, so there's two holes. You got to make this watertight. I'm going to go to Edges. So right click, drag up to Edges. I'm going to double click on this edge, double click on this edge, and then I'm going to bridge it, which is right this one. It's also my cousin, but in this case, it's just a bridge. So I'm going to bridge it. Boom. Now, you can see it automatically makes 5 divisions. I don't really like that, so I'm just going to turn this to 0. And that way it's just 1, because I don't really need that many. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do 1, because I can use that one to kind of help a little bit. So I'm going to I just double click on this, and grab this one. I'm just going to kind of pull it down like that, because there's a bit of like a weird gappy thing going on. So I double click on that one and kind of like that, and that way there's a crease there, because that's kind of what's happening with that. And that's a bit of a closer approximation of what that part of the seat looks like. So I'm going to call that good for now. Now, the other thing that's there are these arms, which are kind of weird. They have like a weird twist in them that come down, but they're more or less rectilinear. So again, I'm going to start with a cube. I'm going to bring it up and over here. Okay. I'm going to R to scale it, bring it up and over, and it should be like this, and it's a little bit thinner than that. Okay. Okay. Alright, and I'm trying to make it look roughly the right way. We're going to call that okay. That's not really great, but I should get the idea across. So it kind of goes straight for a little bit of it. So I'm going to grab just this face, pull it out to about here-ish. And then right about here is when it starts to turn inwards. So what I'm going to do is, while I have this face selected, I'm going to hit extrude. And it's going to come up with this. I don't really like using this, so I'm going to immediately hit W. And then pull it forward. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit E to rotate. And I'm going to hold J. I'm going to go 1, 2. And it's also got to twist this way, so I'm going to hold J. 1, 2. Oops, that was 3. Alright. And I'm going to go back a little bit. And I'm going to push it down a little bit like that. Okay, so I'm just trying to get it because it's got to twist inwards. I'll hit extrude again. Okay. And then I'm just going to immediately hit W. I'm just going to pull it out straight and down like so. And I'll hit E. And it needs again to rotate this way, so I'm going to hold J for increment. 1, 2. And it's also got to go this way. Again, I'm going to hold J just to increment. 2. Oops. 2. And we're getting closer. Okay. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Okay. Making sure. Good. That looks okay. So I'm going to, since I can keep hitting this up here, or if I actually just hit G, it will execute whatever the last command was. So in this case, it was extrude. So if I hit G, it will like, good something. So I'm going to go like that. I'm just going to kind of pull it down. And I'm going to do the same thing again, E. So I got to go 2 this way, so I'm going to hold J to increment. 1, 2. And we'll just do 3 because that gets me all the way. And then I'm going to hold J this way. 1, 2. 2 was enough. Okay, and we're pretty good there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hit extrude again. Oh, so if you look, see how it's getting kind of twisted this way? I'm actually going to try to straighten this out too while we're at it. So it's flat. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to hit extrude again. I'll just hit G because this is the last thing I did. Then W. I'm just going to pull it straight down like so. And that looks okay. Now one of the problems I'm having though when I'm looking at this is that you can see it's not touching this, right? So I'm going to switch to vertices mode. I'm just going to grab up to those ones because I feel like this one's kind of going in okay, but this is where it kind of loses it. So I'm going to switch to a different view actually. So I tap spacebar. I'm going to go over here. And this view again, I'm going to turn on this so I can see things a little bit better, which is wireframe unshaded. And I'm just going to take this and pull this that way till it's on there. Then I'm going to hold control to unselect that area. Pull this one more so it's there. Good. And I just tap spacebar a couple times and I'm back in here. That way it twists in the right direction. Alright, now I'll go to face. I'm going to take this guy. Just going to pull it up, make sure it's right flush with that. Actually, I'm going to hold V for point snap. And I'm going to point snap it right to here. You can see it's a little bit unlevel. So just to make it perfect, I'm going to hit R. Apparently I also hit 4. I didn't mean to do that. Just hit R. And I'm just going to grab it and pull it straight to this cyan. Now it's perfectly straight. Okay. Then I'm just going to, again, the last function I did was that extrude. I haven't done any tools besides that in a while. It will do extrudes and W, pull it down. And then I'm going to hit E to rotate. And I'm going to make it 45 degrees. So if I hold J, again, 1, 2, 3. 3 would be 15, 15, 30, 45. So that makes it 45 degrees. Then I'll just kind of pull this up and over here. And then I'll hit extrude again, G, and then I'll hit W immediately and pull it up and over. And then I'll hit E for rotate, J for increment, 1, 2, 3. And then you can see it's perfectly straight, which is good. And then I'm just going to scale this down a little too, because it actually kind of gets thinner as it goes up to here. I'm going to go to edges, double click on this edge, and kind of just pull it up and over so that. And I'm going to grab just this edge and pull this up and over. In fact, actually, I'm going to hold V for point snap and point snap it right to here so that it's level. Okay. Okay. So that's pretty good. I'm really going to just work on one side and then I'll flip everything to the other side eventually. But just to make things easier so we can visually see it, I'll do it now. So I'm just going to hit Command D, which makes a duplicate. But you can see it's backwards, right? So now what I need to do is I'm going to hit R, and you can see it's the red one. If you look at red, it's the x-axis. So I'm going to take my x, which is whatever this is. I'm just put a minus in front of that. And that will flip it. Okay. And then I'm just going to take it and pull it like that. And good. And now you can see it's much more looking like a chair. Okay. A little blocky, but that's kind of the idea. We're just blocking it out first, and then we'll go in and make it more specific. Okay. So I'm looking underneath, and there is a lot of stuff underneath there. I'm going to simplify that somewhat because I don't want to get too crazy with it. For the part that this inserts into, I'm just going to use a cube to begin with here. So I'll pull this up and over. All right, blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. So I'd like this to be perfectly center on this, but it's hard. I can try to eyeball it, but that's hard. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to select this, okay? And then I'm going to go up to Mesh Tools and Insert Edge Loop Tool, and I'm going to hit the Option box. Okay. You see how it pops up right here on my toolbar? I want to have it actually up here readily available. So I'm going to middle mouse button, click and drag, and drop it up there. Now it'll always be up there whenever I need it, so I don't have to go up here. What I want to do is, right now if you were to use this tool, you click it and it drags, and it works just like that multi-cut one, which is not really what I want. Instead, what I'm going to do is do multiple edge loops. Now right now what will happen is it will evenly divide into 2. It makes 2, right? And you could do however many you want, which is useful, It's nice and evenly divided. I'm just going to do 1. That's what I wanted to do. Boom. And because it's evenly divided, that is now the center. So I can snap this to that, and now I have that. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Okay. Again, W for the move tool, and I'm going to hold V for point snap. I'm going to grab just this axis, and I'm just going to drag to one of these center spots. And now that's perfectly center that way. This way it's not. I could put an edge loop in here, but I'm not too worried about it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm actually going to take this down. I'm going to hold D and V, move the pivot up to the top of this box. Okay? And then I'll hold V and move the pivot to the top of this. Now I'm just going to scale it. Okay, and that looks adequate. Alright, scale it down a little bit more. And then I'm going to take this face and just scale it in a little bit. Okay. Now, because you're never really going to see this, I'm not going to get too carried away. I think that's fine. Now I'm going to take this, and I'll pull this up. Now, this actually has that like star thing on the bottom that goes out different directions. Yeah, I think you know what I mean, like where it comes out and there's a wheel on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count to see how many stars there are. And there are 5. Okay? So what that means is that eventually, because this is all one piece, right? Oh no, never mind. We'll leave it like it is. So I'm going to leave that at 8. I'm just going to worry about the thickness and stuff of it. But we're going to call, how low is that right now? It's easier to see this in an orthographic view, so I'm going to look here. Okay. So I want it to be perfectly, I don't really care if it's perfectly. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit. And we'll go right to there. Looks okay. Okay. All right. So there's going to be 5. I need to make like a 5-star piece, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this to make the cylinder. Instead of going up to create, and I could do the option box cylinder and so on and so forth, I'm just going to click over here, click on that. And then if I go over in here, right in the channel box, you'll see it has this poly cylinder. This is what it used in order to make it. I'm going to change this to 10. And you'll see why in a second. Okay. Do I want to do 10? Let me see what this looks like real quick. I gotta see how big the gaps are. Maybe we'll do 5. I'll just do 5. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and scale this. Come on. If I can do it. Okay. Like before, I'm actually gonna take the pivot, D and V, and I'm gonna grab it by the middle here and drag the middle up so it's centered right on that little spot there. And then I'm gonna hold V. And I'm going to middle mouse button waggle, and it will snap that right to where I'm pointing. Now I'm going to go ahead and scale this down. We'll scale it this way. Pull this up a little bit so it overlaps. All right. Now what I'm going to do is, if you look at it, it's kind of off a little bit. So I'm going to hit E to rotate because I want to make this the straight line. So I'm going to hold J. There you go. Now that's straight. So that's kind of the line going straight this way. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use this to make my star thing. So this is going to be kind of weird. I'm going to select this one. Well, I want to select all the way the ones that are all the way around. So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold Shift and double click. It'll grab the entire side. So you grab one face, hold Shift on the one that's going in the path you want to go, and it'll grab all the way around. Now, if I hit extrude, what it's going to do is it's going to make just a disc, which isn't really, you can see if I hit 3, it just makes a disc, right? It's not what I need. What I need to do is this. If I go up to, where are you? Mesh tools, mesh display. Should be in mesh tools. Alright, so it looks as though they might have moved it. So we're going to use the modeling tool set. If I go up to here and click on this, this is the modeling tool set. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this extrude. Oh, here it is. So you see where it says keep faces together? Oh, you just click on it. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so click off. So it's off. And watch what happens. It doesn't keep them together, which is pretty cool. So I'm actually going to pull this out a little bit. And then, and this time I'm actually using the arrows. These are based off of the normal. So see how it's moving them all in their own directions? I'm going to tap on this blue. Any one of these ones will work, but on the cube. And then see a cyan one comes up. I'm going to go ahead and just